Welcome back on Twitch and or YouTube. Today we'll have match 2 from the Newbie and the Beast tournament high-elo bracket. And, well, we've already seen, if you're watching live on Twitch, we've just seen the first match. So please, on YouTube, click away now if you want to avoid spoilers for the first match in this bracket. You can find all of the matches that I'm casting in the relevant playlists for this tournament as well. So now I'll spoil the result of the first one. The first match was MBL Dragon against aleksanderG and Mihai. And actually, Mihai, aleksanderG, they ended up winning that series just like they did in the show match. So they are already 1-0 in this tournament. We'll get to see them again right here against EmuWarrior and Mastyjames, who, well, we haven't seen before play in this tournament. So we'll see how good a challenge they can offer to the Romanian kings of this tournament so far, so to speak. Well, just maybe a short look in case you aren't quite familiar yet with the tournament's structure. This is the high-elo bracket of the tournament. We have 5 teams in this one. And for the 2 teams playing in this game are marked with the arrows here. It is a single round robin, meaning that each of these teams will play 1 series against every other team. And the series are going to be best of 3. The first game is going to be a 2v2 on Nomad, and after that there are 2 potential 1v1s that would be played, depending on how the score of the series goes. If one team wins 2 games, the series is over, they get the victory. So far, so easy. Now, well, aleksanderG and Mihai have already proven themselves to be quite good in this tournament format. Maybe they should be considered favorites for this game as well. I don't think I've actually been given access to the Civ and map drafts for this series, so again we'll have to just make do with the replay files. These games were also played, I think, a few weeks ago already, but sadly, due to my travels, I wasn't able to cover them live. Now though, let's jump into this second match. And the first game is going to be, as mentioned, the Nomad 2v2. Let's get underway here with EmuWarrior being the first one to plant down his TC. And let's actually check out the civs selected by both teams. I already see Mongols there, and if you guys know me, you know I love my Mongols. So great to see that. And again, the Lithuanians. So that is going to be it for EmuWarrior and Mastyjames. Mongols, Lithuanians. Interesting combination there. Interesting, they're using the team chat here to communicate. We could both cast drop Mihai, is what is being said there. Figuring out the strategy on the fly, it seems. This is way better than weird Dravidians for us, though. Because now Mangadai aren't countered. So they probably were expecting Vietnamese and Dravidians. Instead, it's going to be Persia and Dravidians for their opponents. Interesting to see the team chat. I love this already. Light commit on water, since I will lose to Dravidians long term. For some reason that was being censored. Okay, well, interesting. Very, very interesting. Cool to see the communication for the team, at least partly. So, EmuWarrior and Mastyjames, they're kind of here in the west, a little bit further apart. EmuWarrior actually completely alone on his side of the map, not even any docks there from the opponent that are nearby him. Well, I guess this one sort of is. But he is very much alone there on his Mongols. Wonder how this is going to go, but he's saying he wished he had some sheep. Honestly, he's got decent amount of hunt around, like 2 boars here, a couple of deers right in cheesy range. That is not bad. That's not bad actually for Mongols with that hunt bonus. As you can see, Mongols not the most typical pick for water maps like this. Good to see you in chat, aleksanderG. I just finished the cast of your first series. I've got that here in my Twitch VODs if you want to check that out, or it'll be on YouTube tomorrow. Good to see you there. That was an amazing series. Sadly, I have to say that the 1v1 against Dragon wasn't quite as entertaining as the Nomad 2v2 there, but it is a blast here. And I've managed to remain unspoiled for this tournament, so I don't know any of the results yet. Sadly, I've been on vacation for 3 weeks. That was just overlapping with all the tournament games that have been played. So I'm really sorry that I didn't get to casting them before today. But, well, I'll grind out a couple of games here in the next few days and we should be up to speed. Yeah, that Noma 2v2, man. The newbies faced against the opponent Beast players, that was really entertaining, and they did a really good job there. Both you and Dragon, I thought, held up really, really well in your respective matchups. So that made this game super entertaining. I gotta say, that was pretty amazing there. Help me, Mihai. Yeah, so, luckily for you, he came in to help, well, early enough then. But no, both you and Dragon did heavy lifting in that game. So I have to applaud y'all for that. Also interesting here, Mihai and Alexander planting really close together again. So they have kind of their little corner down here. That can be an advantage or a downside if you're getting cornered in completely. It's a bit tough, but always you'd probably rather have your teammate sitting next to you than an opponent. And the difference in approach here is pretty stark, right? You have one team picking no traditional water sieves there in Mongols, Lithuanians. Maybe you could say it's like an archer sieve and a cavalry sieve again. Whereas for Mihai and Alexander, it's complete water sieves here. I mean, Persians, Civilians, you couldn't really get better water sieves, could you? Super strong economy there with the water for both of them. If they're able to play to those strengths, they should have a really strong economy, whereas the opponent has really strong Castle Age armies. So that is the advantage I'd see for Team Emu and Masty. Do I think that you delayed MBL enough? Well, at what point are we speaking specifically? It is, I said in the cast as well, at one point when he started pushing you with traps, I think there maybe was an angle where he could have turned south on Mihai as opposed to completely trying to push you back. So I'm not sure. Your castles were big though, especially the one in the west where you completely denied one of his TCs going up and took away even more eco space from him. That was just the overall problem in the late game. Mihai was fully boomed up 130, 140 vills at the point where MBL was. I didn't check the exact number, but I think he was still at 80, 90 vills. Sure, he had fish, but he never was on the power level of Mihai. They really needed to 2v1 Mihai at one point, and they weren't able to do that. Both of them are strong on water, very fast feudal to get ships. Well, yeah, you can probably already see I'm like not the biggest water connoisseur. So when I say they're not traditional water civs, mostly what I mean is they don't have any direct water bonuses. Obviously, getting up to feudal fast is amazing on water maps, as I always say. That's like 90% of the reason why Malay are so fucking annoying on water. But no, you're not wrong there. I definitely like me as a non-water player. I like picking Mongols on water maps a lot as well. So I'm not trying to say it is bad. But particularly one thing I would say is that the eco, right? The eco for Dravidians and for Persians is ideally heavily centered around water. They have bonuses for their fishing eco, whereas Mongols and Lithuanians don't do that. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm not trying to imply that they're not able to contest water in and of itself. Okay, well, we see the feudal ages coming out here for Emu and for Mihai at this point, whereas both Mastyjames and Alexander not going up quite yet. Wonder what Emu is popping off about here in the chat. Boar, holy. Did he lose a villager or anything? Or what was going on there? Sadly, I didn't catch that. But yeah, as I was saying, we have both teams here with one of the players going up to feudal age a little bit earlier. Not really a huge surprise to see the Mongols go up a little bit earlier, right? That is kind of their identity. And they're still on a pretty good way to getting up to Castle Age relatively fast as well behind their water. And that is, I think, what Emu was talking about in chat earlier, saying, or in-game chat, I should say, saying he's trying to maybe do light pressure on water and then go into Castle Age. We'll see if that is going to be the plan for him, if he remains with that or if he changes strategy at some point, because the castle drop strategy that they were talking about initially may be a bit difficult if you're EmuWarrior and so far away from any opponent. The castle drop might be a bit awkward. Okay, on the other side now we have the last couple of feudal ages hitting in Mastyjames, sorry, a little bit late maybe on the feudal age, at least compared to the other players in this game. Maybe lagging behind a little bit, but he's also just looking to get his fast castle, and he has more than enough resources to do the FC cleanly here. Same thing though for aleksanderG, who's actually just a little bit faster with it, and he's going to be able to click up here in just a second as well. Interestingly, going for the archery range as one of the buildings. And there we have the first naval engagement. EmuWarrior with his fire galleys forward forces Mihai a little bit back. And yeah, the docks, I mean, the docks are so far apart, literally on the other side of the map there for EmuWarrior. So he's going to have quite some way to sail around if he wants to harass anybody's fishing economy. That is a bit difficult at this point for him. Doesn't have that fast access to any opponents. And we have Mihai right there, completely different story for him. He's got his dock in the north, just gets down to Mastyjames here and starts picking off some of these fishing ships. Castle Age is on the way for Alexander and for Mastyjames now, as they both opted for the straight FC, and EmuWarrior as well, saying that he just wants to get up to Castle Age now. Still lacking the second building though. Yeah, and there he goes, has it completed now. So saying he doesn't want to fight a 2k5 level player on water very much. Okay, well, there might be a bit of an elo gap there. We said in the previous series how Mihai was the underdog against MBL maybe, but in this matchup he might look like the Goliath. So it's maybe a bit of roles reversed here. And he's doing a great job early with not a, well, actually no, scratch that. I was gonna say not a massive investment in water. He is fully committing to water, right? He's pumping out a bunch of galleys here, microing against the fire galleys too, taking some losses there, but overall able to run this down just fine, I assume. With the amount of ships he has, he should be just fine. Now he's gonna be later Castle Age compared to the other players, of course, because he's made a lot more ships, but he's also getting some decent value out of it at least. Now in the west it is gonna be a little bit difficult, because there's a lot of fire ships. That is not enough galleys to handle those, so he's gonna have to back up a bit, but he's already cleaned up the entire fishing economy for Mastyjames, and that is gonna hamper him severely. He's going for a triple TC setup now, utilizing that Lithuanian bonus. Gonna give him some extra food once those go up, but already being out of fish certainly isn't ideal. That being said, we saw the archer range go up for Alexander, and he's going for some crossbows now. Ooh, that is unfortunate, but just in time the town center comes up. Crossbowmen are starting to take some damage here, so good timing for Mastyjames after all. But now gonna have some crossbows running around his eco. Those TCs placed very nicely to protect the eco space though, but ultimately he's still gonna need that siege workshop. Both sides actually coming to drop one. Interestingly, no castle drops yet, and it's EmuWarrior that is heavily on stone. He's gonna try to bring a castle first of all. Just quickly, I'd like to check out what the whoops. What did I just do? Whoops. Okay, I've somehow messed up the vision element here. Oh yeah, no, we're good. I was just trying to see if everybody knew where the opponents were, and actually the Romanians don't really know just yet where the Mongols are at, so they don't know just where to hit. And same thing, well, sort of same thing, I think, for EmuWarrior and Masty. They should be aware pretty much where their enemies are at, but EmuWarrior also having to concede now that no fish is left. And that is what I was saying. That is how I sort of imagined this to go. Persia and Dravidians heavily playing for water, maybe Lithuanians and Mongols playing a little bit more for land, but overall, EmuWarrior, Mastyjames, they haven't really been active on land. I like the way Emu went up early, tried to contest water a bit, but it seems Mihai just was more efficient there. Now with 15 galleys, war galley upgrade on the way, he's really controlling all of the all of the water right now. It's going to be really difficult to take that back. I don't anticipate that to be attempted by Emu and Masty. Now Mangonel defense here against this push. Let's see how the trades will end up going. The Mangonel shot takes out the repair villager, but good hit by Mastyjames to finish the trade. And I'm gonna be able to start chipping away at this siege workshop, where Alexander doesn't have another Mangonel actually queued up just yet. With still a couple of more crossmen coming out, that is going to be his main unit. It's going to try to play around, but going to lose the siege workshop in the end. So that is a small victory maybe there. Also, oh, I didn't catch that, my apologies. These guys have a villager kill to their name already. Now running underneath the TC might be a little bit ambitious for Alexander, but still scouting around there. I assume he doesn't really have full vision yet of that Mongol base. Gets to a good spot behind the wood line, forcing Emu to idle that one. Brings a couple of Mangodai over. They should be able to handle this since the crossbows are already quite low on HP. But Alexander doing a pretty nice job with his crossbows there. Ooh, I missed a good Mangonel shot there actually from Mastyjames. He's really nice with this micro, my lord. Okay, he's fending off these Mangonels and crossbows really well. Still keeps his Mango alive. Wow, that is some great trading. Finally, that Mangonel is going down, but he got a lot of value out of that one. It was really nicely done. And he's quite vulnerable on his 3 TC here. No real army except for apart from those siege weapons, but he's got most villagers in the game right now. Mihai, though, just like in the game we just watched, he's kind of just booming up here. Triple TC for him as well. He's Persian, so those villagers are going to be pumped out super fast as well. That Mangonel still juking and dancing around, but the shot's not landing at this current moment. Here gets a better one and just buys himself enough time to get that castle up in the front, which is going to protect that entire space here. So, maybe from the south or from the north, he could still be raided up. Other than that, it's a bit difficult. You can also see though what the naval pressure does to boot this. We have Mihai's galleys just chilling around here, pressuring, making it impossible to farm close to the coastline. Takes away a little bit more space even from the opponent's team. Well, Mastyjames able to fortify this front line with that castle. Also got a couple of ladies on the way. But as EmuWarrior just said, I mean, Mihai is booming away pretty undeterred right now. Good kiting out of these Mangodai, doing a good job avoiding most of these crossbow shots. No ballistics yet for any player here, so it's really difficult to land hits on mounted units with archers. And so a 30C also attempted by the Mongols right now. And well, there's still a lot of stone actually being taken by the Lithuanians, so it looks like maybe Mastyjames intending on dropping another castle either forward onto Mihai or just to secure his flanks, which I think would be a decent idea as well. As we see in the north, well, a castle up here would certainly help, but we'll see where they'll decide to go with that. EmuWarrior, he's got to be careful not to lose these Mangodai right now. They are really good raiding force, but the crossbows are keeping them in check right now. So they're not actually able to find any villager kills right now. Just get Mihai to react, he says, which is kind of the name of the game, right? You want to force the opponent to stay focused, keep reacting, not just boom freely, not just attack undeterred. And interesting plan now, using the Mangodai against the fish. Ballistics is in for both the archer players here. So that is going to help in the trade as well. We see another little Mangonel exchange. This time it's going to be Mihai stepping up to challenge Mastyjames' Mangonel micro. He was trying to drop a castle here, I believe. But with the Mangonels contesting... Ooh, really good long shot there by Mihai. Wow, he really anticipated that step back. I'm going to see the latest charge in to try and take out this Mangonel. But with the monks behind for Mihai, I don't think Mastyjames is going to get this. He's playing around this really nicely. And there go the latest, but the conversions are being charged. Might have to delete both, and that's exactly what he does. He didn't get that Mangonel? Nah, really? Let's check this out. Okay, the first hit of these latest takes 60-70% of the HP. Oh, and then he deletes them before the second hit comes in. Just got one hit from one of the latest. A millisecond too early on the deletion there. And the all chat 11s. Deservedly so. That is a feels bad moment for Mastyjames. Oh, God. That is sad, because he was... I think if he gets that mangonite kill, maybe tries for a castle a bit more forward. Now they're gonna have to resettle. Keep, well, get some more units out, and still only has the one mangonels. All the military he has. 2 monks out there, and has a monastery up already. So the laters are powerful, but if they're just gonna be converted, that's no good either. What can Mastyjames do? Loses that mangonel there. No chance. He doesn't have the numbers. And yeah, EmuWarrior said to keep Mihai reacting. But honestly, does Masty have the tools to do so now that there's crossbowmen around as well from aleksanderG? Still raiding going on down here. Haven't focused on that at all. And these crossbowmen being super annoying, trying to micro against this mangonel. Will not get this, I don't think, as the mangonel come in time to defend against this. And we have finally the castle in the north to secure that flank. Let's see if that is going to be any good. Still more stone being collected here for Mastyjames, but also for EmuWarrior and Mihai, so we're probably going to see a lot more castles come out soon. Mihai, even with stone walls here in the north, really tries to force the small front, which is really nice. But if you're playing against double cavalry enemy Sith, you're doing yourself a favor by minimizing the front line, making it so they can't just ride around the entire map and raid you everywhere. Good walls there, I would argue. Forward go the crossbowmen, and another raid commencing here. There is ballistics on these, so the villagers should start dropping fast. Once Alex tries to starts firing here, and no reaction yet from Masty. Now he pulls back, but he's gonna lose quite a lot of villagers here, I anticipate. Ouch, that hurts. For real. Oh no, that's some crossbowmen raiding here, and oh no, don't tell me that castle is going to be denied. Well, even if it isn't, that's going to be a lot of villagers going down for EmuWarrior. Oh no, Alexander having a field day with this. Forcing back all these villagers. The castle has to be abandoned. Oh, and now the Mangrai are going to have to be brought back for this. I wonder if they're going to be enough to clean this up. It seems they are, but Alexander decides, screw it, I'm just going to take a couple of villager kills. Even gets the monk on the drive-by shooting. The old guy just walking by. Arrow to the head. Was pretty uncalled for. But yeah, there we have it. Still with the mortar harassing. And Imperial Age coming in for both the frontline players here. With their castles now. Trebuchet production is a thing. Mastyjames slightly ahead in that regard. Overall the game, still it looks pretty even, but I certainly see the Romanian team in the advantage here. They've got about a 50 eco unit lead. And that is not only water. In fact, they only have 23 fishing ships. It's also a good amount of villagers, 119. Mihai again getting close to that fully boomed up state that he was able to carry in the previous series. So I'd be pretty scared now if I were his opponents. Mangonel shots from the south here. Are they going to be able to do damage here? Not enough. That was really nice micro again. Emo getting those shots off rather cleanly. It's just the same thing that I was complimenting about MBL's mangonels in the previous series. Just barely any standstill time for the Mango, getting those shots out almost seamlessly. No, EmuWarrior, your mangonel being picked. Now loses 3 of them to the crossbow advance from Alexander, who's stepping up here and, well, just buying time on these Mangrai to allow this castle to go up, but he's going to lose quite a few of them. And Alexander pulls back here, probably going to be quite happy with this trade. Another castle going up for Mihai as the trebuchet trades are commencing here. And the army composition, it just looks so much better for the Romanians here. Crossbows alongside these mangonels. No chance for these halberdiers to do anything. And they're anticipating the camels or some cavalry or whatever, but they're not going to be allowed to even step up. Persians here heavily going into heavy camels. Oh man. Oh, that is a tough one. The camels trying to snipe the trebuchets, I assume. Trebuchets taking out the castle from Mastyjames at the same time. And it feels like it's starting to crumble now for Emu and Masty. The big economy there, especially from Mihai, is just starting to rule here. Lots of camels forward. The crossbowman also is still able to harass No chance for the halberdiers to do anything. That castle has been taken out, and they're going to continue the advance to the west here, on to the next castle there for Mastyjames. Just look at the armies. There's barely any military even on the map. It's 15 to 70. Well, it looks like this push is pretty deadly right now from Mihai and his mate. Ouch. That has to hurt. What can they potentially do to change this? It is tough, right? I don't think they have the ecos to contend with this. I mean, certainly the 100 wills for both of them, but fully boomed up Mihai here once more. Don't know about this. Another castle smack dab in the middle here. Super nicely protected front line, super difficult to raid for Mihai and Alexander, who have their own little corner here. Still more than enough gold down there. Should be able to run away with this, surely. And they're on a roll here, already having won that first series against the the projected best team in this tournament. Continuing their run here, still undefeated in the actual main event here. And the crossbows, now arbalests, dominating this matchup. Bunch of camels here, trebuchets. There's just nothing that, well, Masty has that could stop this at all. Only halberdiers on the map for him. That is just simply not going to cut it. Castle attempted on the water now to finally get rid of these galleons. War galleys, rather. Oh, but that is probably too late, if I had to wager. The push is rather slow. Mihai being quite methodical about this, right? Another castle forward now. Doesn't want to give up too much. Probably is not aware that the opponent literally only has halberdiers as military. But, yeah, slowly but surely this is going to be pushed. Elite War Elephant now. That is how good the eco is. At that point, when you're able to afford that, you know you're in a good game state more often than not. Oh, the spoilers here. Halo and chat Comey as well. Good to see you. Good to see you for sure. Team Romania here looking great today in the games that we've seen. Finally, Imp comes through for EmuWarrior 2. Mongolian Imp is pretty scary usually, but they are sufficiently behind that I don't think Mihai is gonna have to worry too much about that. The War Elephants, they're just tearing up that arse here. Look at this. I mean, that is a painful experience. They don't even care about the halberdiers, so no. Oh no. Poor Masty. He doesn't have a base anymore. He's getting completely torn apart. Ah. Well. Yummy, yummy. Yummy, yummy. Now we get Elite Elephant Archer. Okay. Double elephant combo here from Team Romania. And, well, that's probably going to be it if I had to imagine. Elite Mangudai on the way for Emu, yeah. Sure, I mean, 20, 30 Elite Mangudai is super scary in most games. Don't know about this one. Don't know. Double the villager numbers, triple the military in the field. And, yeah, having fun with the elephants right now. Castle in the middle now, advancing a little bit faster. That Mastyjames has been completely pushed away. They probably feel pretty confident at this point about their chances. Score lead is about what, 4,000 or 5,000. Yeah, not too shabby. Oh, there we have another castle rush here. I like the castle rush in the previous game better. The castle wall, 3 castles right next to each other from Mihai. That was had a bit more style, I have to say. Here the castle's a bit more spread out. Okay, but yeah, Mihai is definitely being serious about it. It just sends the war elephants in here. GG's called. Okay, that was a really good showing here in game 1. EmuWarrior and Masty's plan didn't fully really work out for them. They were quite far away from the enemies too. Maybe that way the land aggression could have worked out a bit better, but with their early water plan, they really weren't able to get a lead there. Mihai had their number the entire time, and then there was just too little pressure on Mihai specifically to stop the boom from just completely rolling over the game. So that is first map going over to Mihai and Alexander, but it is a best of 3, so you'll have to win 2 games to get the serious dub. So nothing is decided yet. It is EmuWarrior and Mastyjames' turn now to decide if they want the Beast players to have a 1v1 next, or if they want to go to the newbie matchup. We'll see. Oops. So the score now 1-0 for Mihai and Alexander. I'll check the replays. Check what is the next game. Where are we? There we are. Oh, well. Brilliant. I'm not sure actually which is the next game. Well, it should be, the way it's listed right here would suggest that Alexander against Mastyjames is the next game, and that is reasonable. That is what I would expect, because as we already said, the gap between Mihai and EmuWarrior in terms of elo, I believe to be pretty big. I don't have the most recent numbers, but it wouldn't be too surprising to me if Mastyjames against Alexander would be the matchup of Emu and Masty's choice. So we're gonna treat that as game 2, and yeah, that is what the files suggest to me as well. Okay, that said, let's just jump right in, shall we? It is 1-0 now, but should be a good match ahead, as the losing team, of course, is the one getting selected in the next match. They'll have a chance to even out the score. It is Arabia here, so again, I don't have the drafts of these for the maps and the civs here, but as I described in the previous series, for the 1v1s, there are 3 maps that can be picked from: Arabia, Enclosed, and Lowlands. Basically, the way it works is both players select a map unbeknownst to the opponent, and then if they end up selecting the same map, that is the map that will be played. If they select 2 different maps, then neither of those 2 maps will be played, and the third remaining map is the one that will be played on. So that is how this map draft works. Afterwards, the civs are drafted, and we ended up with Ethiopians against Portuguese there. Carlos, good to see you in chat. Nice. Long time. Been a long time, but I'm back to streaming now, and you're probably still up with your Civ shenanigans. Civ 3 tournament gonna be streamed on this weekend as well, most likely. So look forward to that if you're a fan of Civilization. Okay, now checking out the civs for this. We are in Arabia. Portuguese, Ethiopians is the matchups. 2 pretty good civs, pretty popular civs as well. Portuguese on the left side there for Mastyjames. In a must-win scenario here, they need to pick up the win to extend the series. Well, classified as naval and gunpowder, Portuguese really strong on all sorts of maps. Gold discount is one of the strongest things in the game. I mean, just think about it. The strongest units in the game, gold units, all of them are cheaper. Not bad. It should even include monks, right? I mean, I haven't really played Portuguese, but I assume that implies, or yeah, monks are cheaper as well. So that's massive. And then a nice little EQ bonus with the berries as well. Just smooth civilization there. Perfect blacksmith, as we see. All the gunpowder options. And unique tax. Yeah, more accuracy for the gunpowder units too. Makes for really good civilization, especially in the late game, I feel. And has the tools to get there as well. I'm not sure we're gonna see Fetore here, I'm sorry. This is not usually what we see on Arabia. And these are 2 pretty high elo players, but one can dream. One can dream, so don't want to crush yours. Is the Portuguese there on the left side for Mastyjames. On the right side, the Ethiopians. A little bit more up my alley, maybe. Archer Civilization, one of the most pure stock standard Archer civs. Just extra fire rate on the Archers, giving them extremely high DPS. And the other 2 bonuses that they have also quite strong in their own regards, right? Extra golden food when aging up, that is big for an archer player. I mean, I just look at this and say, hey, this is just free crossbowman upgrade when I get to the Castle Age, for example. But even when you're getting to the Feudal Age, I mean, 100 golden food is pretty big, as actually for Alexander, somehow this zebra turns around. That looked criminal. Like that looked like it just walked back at the first chance it got. Pretty infuriating whenever that happens. Just to round out the Ethiopians, though, free pikeman upgrade. That is one of my favorite bonuses for any archer civ. I mean, don't we archer players? Don't we all hate the damn night rushers in Castle Age? Like, think about it. You're grinding out Feudal Age, getting your archer numbers up. You're getting maybe 2 or 3 villager kills, feeling great about yourself. Opponent cavalry player just gets to Castle Age maybe half a minute ahead of you. He makes 4 knights and just rolls everything. Well, we don't see it right here on the screen, sadly. My overview was blocking it. But Mastyjames actually got Mihai to react here as he attacks one of his villagers. Might actually get the kill here if he commits for it. I think he shouldn't, though. Take some damage on the scout. And that prompted Alexander to actually have the zebra turn around on him for the second time. And the food fiasco here that we saw in the previous series happened to Dragon when the aggression got ramped up. Same thing happens to Alexander here. So it is rough, and again and again we see in these tournament games aggression is being rewarded. The opponent will make mistakes. So I see. And just maybe to round out my thought, fuck cavalry players who just can do nothing but open knights in Castle Age and gain elo off of that. That's why Ethiopian's free pikeman upgrade is so nice. You don't have to invest anything into upgrades. Just click a few pikes there in Castle Age, and you're much better off against these knight players than most other archer civilizations. So yeah, go Ethiopians. Cool civilization. Also love their siege there with torsion engines. Always a big fan of that. Maybe we'll get to see that as well, though again, in pro games, in high-elo games, that is not as common. Good. On the way to Feudal Age. Very early time there for EmuWarrior as opposed to Alexander. He actually ends up going up with 21 villagers. Now, I'm not sure if that is intentional by design or if that is a product of the aggression that was put onto him. But, well, who knows? We'll see, I suppose. 18 seconds of idle TC time 2. Mastyjames so far perfect in the idle time department. And actually, maybe I'll just check in here as I see the elos at the start of this tournament were around 1700 for aleksanderG and around 1800 for Mastyjames. So I don't know if that has changed, but I would put Mastyjames as definitely the favorite in this one. So I could see why this is the matchup that his team has opted into here. He's got decent results there. Ooh, my apologies, man. I didn't see that. You actually shot the ball with the TC. Well, thanks for pointing that out to me, because that makes me feel so much better about never using my TC to shoot anything. And the 2 or 3 times that I've tried to do that before in latter games, I've failed it as well, or lost a villager despite or whatever. So no, I'll never start picking up that trick. I refuse to. It just is too infuriating when it goes wrong. Okay, well, 21 villager uptime from Alexander seems not to have been by design. Despite not losing any builds, he is a little bit behind here, I would say, just because he is so late. There we have the archer opening from the Portuguese, which you can go scouts too with the Portuguese, but that gold discount bonus, right, is being put to use much better. If you're actually doing archers, 20% less cost. Well, that is 1/5. They cost 45 gold normally, so that is 9 gold less per archer. That's crazy in Feudal Age. 9 gold less per archer. I mean, Jesus. Okay, well, Portuguese pretty stupid civ, I gotta say. Let's see, aleksanderG, with less military in the field, might struggle a bit here. Doing some nice kiting up the hill, though, and at least gets the scout kill to start this off. Although still looking at the overall numbers, 4 archers out already for the Portuguese, only 1 in the field right now for Alexander. So, well, he's on the back foot there with army, for sure. Ooh, that house wall, not healthy enough, is going to be taken out soon if there's no walls behind this. And the walling here with palisades in the east as well, not fully completed yet. So that early aggression with the scout has really paid off. Finally, house wall has been destroyed. Masty ventures in there for just a second, as he's now being pressured back by the first couple of archers coming out. But really good shot. Wow, that landed from uphill. That takes out both of the archers here, and that is not the start Alexander wanted. He is really behind at this point. Look at the army numbers. Forced to go fully into skirmishes, and that's sad, right? Because you want to exploit that 18% faster firing archers. Typically with Ethiopians, you'll always win even number fights with archers. But, well, it was no even numbers this time around. So Mastyjames has a lot of pressure here. Able to fully push Alexander off of the goat and gets a villager kill now as well. That is a great early game for him, and pretty much the opposite of what we saw in the previous series when Alexander played his 1v1. So everything that kind of could go wrong has gone wrong for him here, and he's gonna lose another villager, isn't he? There he goes. Wow, that can't feel great against the Portuguese, who are already so scary when not put behind early on. Oh, those archers will slowly but surely be taken out, but they have done their damage. No question. Right, so 2 villager lead right now for Mastyjames. Almost able to click up to Castle Age. Just uses the market a bit here. Sells 100 stone too. And he's going to click up here. Ooh. Oh. Close up 1 more villager and he's going to be up after that, I suppose. Well, that is going to be way earlier than Alexander. Who just now has able to repel the units from his land. 5 skirms, now goes back into archer production. It's just going to be so much later Castle Age. He might just get rolled in early castle here. Mastyjames could just also boom. Like at this point, he's got options, right? He could do some knights to start off Castle Age. 20% reduced cost on those as well. Means 12 gold saved on every knight that you make. What a ridiculous bonus. And he could also just do triple TC boom or whatever he wants. So we'll see about that. And now finally Alexander able to go forward for the first time. Get some shots in, but since this is mostly skirmishes, the village is not really in danger of dying here. Oh, is he gonna be able to get that wall up? Wow, that is criminal. He did get that after pulling the spearman off of it. That house wall at the last second. It's not very healthy, but it probably is gonna stay up since, again, these villagers don't really take damage from spearmen and skirmishers mainly. And ooh, we didn't see this, but another group of archers sneaks in, and this, oh god, this could be the game ender. Oh no, Alexander, no army at home whatsoever. Evacuating the wood line just in time though. That is nicely done. But of course that is a lot of idle villagers. It's a rough look. Definitely is. Both plays in the opponent's base, but look at the difference here. Alexander not able to get in. Low damage output on these units. On the other side, these archers with fletching, well, able to idle a lot of economy here. And that is Castle Age coming in as well. Mastyjames so far ahead here. And kiting out here. Looks like the archers are going to go down in the end. Now prepares the cavalry switch though. Queues up a knight. And a TC behind this as well. Look at the resources halfway there. In terms of the Castle Age res is Alexander. Still fighting. Forward with his skirmishes. We'll take out a couple of archers, but now as the first couple of knights start coming out, I think this is going to be huge trouble to this army. It's probably going to get chased down entirely. It's the knight, ridiculous damage output, ridiculously cheap as well for the Portuguese. You hate to see it. Siege workshop forward, okay. Well, Mastyjames not trying to waste any time here. He's wanting to push this one. It's just looking too good for him right now, isn't it? Well, the knight has to abandon the chase as more archers come in, but he's just simply making more knights. It's single stable knights, right? So maybe not too crazy, and thinks twice about it. Moves the siege workshop a little bit further back, but now going to continue his palisade walling. Already has that second TC working, as we know. And still no Castle Age click up by Alexander, who's on 42 villages sitting still in feudal. Now uses the market a bit, so is finally going to be able to get up to the next age. But he's probably going to have a mangonel on him before he even gets there. So that should be hard to defend, shouldn't it? Not envying his position here. Wow, there's knights. Oh, did they get around the wood line? Oh, no, man. No way. Is that open? It is. Oh, come on. Knights getting into the eco for free. There's a lot of army here, so luckily Alexander gonna be able to repel that. And at least he's been made aware of that danger there. Gonna plug the hole, finally. And the knights will be trapped in there. But who's gonna be trapped in with whom? Well, that remains to be seen. The mass migration again of all these lumberjacks to the back lumber camp again. And there's a villager going down. Mastyjames running circles around the base while approaching with more of his army. As I said, there's going to be a mangonel there before Alexander's going to be able to make his own. That's going to give him huge trouble. Look at how well these knights are being used. He's continuously getting some nice cheeky hits in on villagers, on archers, without taking too much damage from TC or from spearmen. So he's doing a great job utilizing this, the fact that he's gotten in there. And the mangonel forward, I wonder where he's going to go with this. Oh, and is he just looking to hit the wood, the gold? Is he trying to hit the archers? We'll see. Castle Age about to come in here, and oop, that is a spearman sent out to annoy the mango. Actually, there might be an overdrop coming in here as well at some point, not too far away. Alexander is up to the next age now, but there's 2 mangoes. There's a couple of knights in front of his base. How is he going to contest those? 3 pikeman upgrade, as mentioned before, helps a lot in these types of scenarios. Actually, is the audio a bit high? I feel like my settings have changed since I came back from vacation. Let me know if the in-game audio is a little bit too high. Well, especially so since I'm talking a little bit more silent. I don't really have the energy. Still recovering from traveling. But yeah, could adjust the audio a bit if the game sounds are too high. That is a tough mangonel push to stop. We're gonna see the siege workshop answered, aren't we? Well, apparently not. No counter siege workshop yet by Alexander, which is surprising to me. I thought that it's gonna be the first thing he puts up when he sees the double mango. Instead, he's now looking to go forward with his crossbowmen to do some counter damage, which isn't the worst idea. But he's going to be found out here in just a second. Well, hits the palisade though, so he kind of gave the game away there. And as both of his production buildings have already gone down, he's trying to fight against the mangonels now. Sends out 2 knights, should probably be able to take them out that way. So good trade taken there, but 2 production buildings going down isn't great either. Breaks in through the palisade wall, takes out the knight, and just passing the monk. Okay, he wants to get to the villagers. Not interested in slaying priests. And, well, he's kind of trapped in there now, isn't he? His crossbowman investment probably going to be wiped out here in a second, although he's getting some good villager kills. Not too bad, but he's going to lose everything here in terms of that army. Ouch. So that is going to go down. Villager lead at this point is around about 15. Score is super even between these 2 players, but I still see a massive advantage here for the Portuguese. I'm not sure about you guys. Well. There's the AI army coming forward. Skirms, crossbows, pikes, and knights. Well. Let's see how much it can do. The defensive castle for the Portuguese, good spot. Protects the main gold. And he's pretty much walled everywhere else. TC down here secures that secondary gold. Yeah, a good spot. I don't think Masty is too mad about this. And remember, it's a must-win game for his team. Alexander has the first of 2 potential match balls here for his side. And it's going to be even a 4th TC for the Portuguese against single TC for Alexander. So those villager numbers are going to start exploding here. The differential is going to go through the roof. Knights now here in the south, finding that TC. Good one. Wow, such nice attention. Leaves one of the villagers to house wall this up, so no chance of the knights getting in, and saves the rest of the wills inside of the TC. Even starts picking up the relics now. I really like how Mastyjames is playing this. Seems very calculated about what he's doing. And Alexander's really frantically trying to find some damage anywhere he can, sends army around everywhere, very diligent about this, right? checks every angle that he could potentially attack from, but Mastyjames just so well prepared. It reacts in time everywhere he goes. Able to evacuate the wood line here again. 5 villager kills on both sides, and again the knights are in somehow. Oh, there. It seems there was a palisade deleted at some point. Oh, these knights, they might just seal it here, honestly, guys. Look at this. The walls! Oh, yeah, he gets the last piece squeezed in there just in time. So, luckily for him, those knights not going to do a lot more damage. But on the other side, the mangonel. Oh, the beautiful AI army. It's all going down. Ah, oh, man. Poor Alexander loses everything to the mango and the Oregon gun. Knights being cleaned up or cleaning up, I'm not really sure. Well, the infantry upgrades are not really there for Alexander, so he even loses that engagement. And at this point, I feel like he might just call it. He's down 35 wheels, which obviously he doesn't know. He's down 1,000 to score, though. He knows the opponent has 1,000,000 TCs. He's well, just lost his entire army, pretty much. Also doesn't have any relics yet. So don't really see any advantages for him at this point. And there we go, into the wood line. The knights go. They are all low, so they're gonna be cleaned up soon, but they're getting such big returns again every time Mastyjames gets in. He makes sure to make it count. Now a bunch of Oregon guns coming forward. Castle drop attempted here at the front as well. Let's see how many wolves is going to bring. It is 9. Oh, that should be good enough with that amount of army protecting it. Our castle should almost certainly go up. 93 to 53 villagers. Well, Mastyjames, he might just have done it. He might just have kept his team in this series. And we might be going to a 3rd game here. Unless Alexander has a massive trick to pull out of the hat in order to turn it around. Both players on the way to him. Only 10 seconds faster for Masty. That is not too relevant. What is relevant is the fact he has got 2 castles. Forward castle here to be able to produce trebuchets from. It's going to be able to start pushing immediately, and the Portuguese gunpowder just too much to handle. Therefore, Mastyjames has to, well, no, sorry, Alexander, of course, has to call it here. Series is tied up, so we're going to go to a decider. That's going to be Mihai against EmuWarrior, of course, yep. And there, the Romanians still should feel pretty good. Having a pro player high up on the ladder. What did I say earlier? Rank 27 or something? Around 2500 elo. Strong player there. EmuWarrior no slouch either, but not in the top 50, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Quite potent player. So we're gonna go to that last game in just a second here. The score is tied up now at 1 apiece. Next game decides the series. What a massive win it would be for EmuWarrior and Mastyjames, taking out Mihai Alexander, who are, as of right now, the favorites for this bracket, I would say, right? They've taken out the other really best team in terms of elo in this bracket. MBL Dragon were my favorites before the event, but just like in the show match, Team Romania having a really good matchup there apparently. So they are, as of right now, my favorites to win this bracket. If Emu and Masty were able to get this win here, that would make things extremely interesting. Well, let's see if they can do it. The last game, is this Mihai against Emu? Yeah, I have a game there. Okay, let's dive in. And today, 2 apparently settled on Arabia. Yeah, not mad about that. And I see that is an amazing Civ matchup. Man, love to see it. Okay, let's jump in, guys. The last match to decide this set. It's gonna be Mihai against EmuWarrior on Green Arabia. Man, I love this already. What a great matchup. Romans against Teutons. Love these civs. And Green Arabia as well. I rarely have been so happy. Well, okay. This game to decide the victor of the best of 3. Mihai, the decided favorite here, has opted for the Romans. Well, I'm a known, well, actually I'm not known, but I am a Roman hater, in the sense that I think they're pretty overrated by many people. But I like them. I like the civilization in terms of the bonuses, in terms of the identity. I just think they're not as good as most people make them out to be, but they certainly have strong aspects about them, right? One of the things is they're just supercharged villagers that kind of do everything better. 5% better at everything, I would say. Almost, at least. Another thing, a double effect on the infantry armor upgrades is such a ridiculous bonus to have. I always say in Castle Age, the Roman infantry has more armor than pretty much any other infantry has in Imperial Age. Right? It's not as easy, right? Because the imp upgrades get you extra armor, and so that's not quite accurate. But just in terms of the blacksmith, they get more out of the blacksmith in Castle Age than any other civ really gets out of the blacksmith in imp when it comes to infantry armor. So that is what I call so ridiculous about the Roman infantry armor bonus. But to top all of that off, they even have better scorpions. And that is so annoying, because have you ever played against scorpions? Probably not, because nobody ever builds that unit. But when they do, when that unit comes out, if you're an archer player, if you're an infantry player, if you're a cav archer player, you hate scorpions. And having a civ that gets them cheaper, I always hate that. I hate that with other civs that have siege discounts as well. Man, I'm just not a fan of facing that unit. It always feels really difficult to micro against, whereas the mangonel feels really rewarding and fun to micro against. But I don't know, I'm not a friend of the scorpions, so that being another bonus for the Romans, also quite annoying, as I find. But now we've now talked about infantry and about scorpions, but the Romans, they have more, right? Because some players just play them as a pure cavalry civilization too. Why would you might ask? Well, the thing is, they get perfectly upgraded cavalry, don't they? I mean, at least they have blast furnace, and they have scale mail armor. Sorry, what I'm saying, plate barding armor is what I mean. So they get all the cavalry upgrades from the blacksmith. They get bloodlines as well. So really strong cavalry as well, and with a unique unit there, the Centurion. And the Imperial Age unique tech, giving a charge attack and faster training speed to knights and centurions. They've got really good heavy cavalry options, guys. That's the thing. Romans have a lot going for them. So why am I a hater? Why do I think they're overrated? I'm not quite sure. I'm just a little bit skeptical. But on the other side, the Teutons, a recent favorite of mine as well. Civilization that I've enjoyed playing a lot, especially against cavalry civilizations and civilizations that don't really like to go into archers, such as the Romans. Teutons could have a lot of value there. They've got that extra armor bonus, right, for all barracks and stable units, so their infantry and their cavalry more resistant to and cavalry themselves, and that famous conversion resistance as a team bonus, making it so hard to fight Teutons with monks. So love me my Teutons as well. A lot of small bonuses, and that's kind of the thing I don't really like about the civ design there with the Teutons is I love civs like in the last game with the Ethiopians, where I said they have very few bonuses, but they are very easy to understand. They're applicable in almost every game. They're going to be useful and pretty strong bonuses. For the Teutons, they've got these awkward little bonuses. 10 extra garrison in the TC. How often does that come into play? The tower garrisoning extra units. That is a big bonus, but how often is that actually being used? The threat of the bonus is almost more potent than the bonus in itself in most games, because, again, you don't really see towers at every game. And then the free murder holes, free herbal medicine. How often is that actually coming into play? That's kind of one thing I'm not the biggest fan about this Teuton civ design with. They kind of have that wide array of bonuses. But one thing that's always going to be good for them is those cheaper farms. Of course, you're not actually gonna get more food out of your farms with that, but you're able to add more farms earlier, or you're able to add the same amount of farms but get more additional buildings out than any other civ. So that's pretty good bonus to have there. What it actually means is just you're saving wood on your farms, and so it's comparable in its effect to horse color, for example. Right? We're just spending less wood on your farms, And that is going to be, again, be useful in every single game. Okay, we're up to feudal now. Both players are at virtually the same time, 19 villager up clicks, and we have the archery range opening for the Teutons as a response to this man-at-arm play for the Romans. And that is pretty strong. When you're forced into an archery range as Teutons, especially early, that isn't amazing. You don't love that, right? And that is what the Romans tend to do to you. Now, if scale mail armor was able to be afforded for the Romans here, these man-at-arms would be an absolute terror. And look at this. That is 1+0 pierce armor right now, but they could have 3 pierce armor, making archers only do 1 damage to them before fletching. So would be a really worthwhile upgrade to get for Mihai here. And again, he is the favorite in this matchup. He is the pro player here. So he's putting on the pressure early, comes forward with his Roman men-at-arms, and forcing the resource walls around this around this wood, rather, sorry. The gold has already been forced to be abandoned by EmuWarrior, and so he doesn't really have that much gold left, but he's going back to gold now in the south, so his archer production is going to be getting back underway, and especially fletching might be needed if Mihai ever gets to scale mail. That would make it, yeah, and that's what he does now. Queues it up. That makes these men-at-arms virtually resistant to archer fire. Okay, well, the initial push has been defended for EmuWarrior, but the men-at-arms might come back at some point, and Mihai queuing up archers behind this already. Look at this, he's got 4 out. So his army is way bigger right now than Emu's. And I know, guys, it's not all about size, but probably doesn't hurt, at least I've been told. So Mihai with quite the military here, and that scale mail, as I already said, pretty unfair unit to have here in feudal age. Those super tanky men-at-arms. The wall is not going to be allowed to complete here for EmuWarrior. Mihai comes in again, already 50 seconds more idle TC time for Emu, and Mihai comes to pressure once more. Oh, is Emu going to be able to deal with this? That is Roman strengths played out very nicely by Mihai. Looking super scary right now, fletching on the way. Finally, these archers are going to be able to do at least some damage to these men-at-arms, but look at how big of a meat shield this is. Oh goodness. All the archers now pressuring the wood line here for Emu. He's walled himself in, he's not able to get out of there. Can his archers and skirms push this hill and free up the lumberjacks there? I'm not sure about it. The engagement is forced onto him, and he's gonna lose that villager there, isn't he? Oh, wow, good shot there with the archers actually able to take out the scout before the last hit comes in, but still he loses a lot of military at least. And again, a lot of idle time as he's forced to garrison and move around lumberjacks. All the while Mihai is sitting at home, completely undeterred, unharassed. Only 20 seconds idle TC time, EmuWarrior suffering heavily under this pressure, and we get to see why Mihai is the favorite here, fletching in already for him, so these archers able to range deep into this lumber camp. My goodness. The men-at-arms, they're just having a field day with this, and still the wall isn't completed by Emu. Sneaks a villager up there finally, so maybe he's gonna be able to close it off. But look at this. Now that was a bit of a misstep. Mihai gives up these men-at-arms, so the archers now could be chased down. Although there's still a 1 tile gap in the very north. Okay, it seems this push has ended, as the reinforcement archers from Mihai are gathering behind the lumberjack, behind the wood line again in the east. And Emu just consistently on the run here, trying to stabilize this situation. Not having too much luck with it. He's down 5 to 6 villagers at this point. Does he know about the hole here? He does. Okay, that is big for him. At least he's going to be able to close that off. That could have ended ugly. It's Teuton farms. They are cheap, but no horse collar on them. So they're going to run out at some point. And ooh, nice little shot there from the skirmishers. Actually goes out very confidently here. I hope he won't regret that if some more men-at-arms ended up coming in, or If Romans just ended up massing too many units, we'll see. Wheelbarrow on the way for Mihai too. He's got a lot of farms set up already with horse collar, most of them I suppose. 18 farms, wheelbarrow on the way. It's going to be a smooth economy for him. With that village lead, 6 villagers up right now. Looks like a really good early game for Team Romania. They're not undefeated anymore in terms of games in this tournament. And, ooh, excuse me, actually. The serious score has been reset. For some reason, sadly kept Rage messing me up that way. Tower forced as a reaction as well, not too bad. That is quite expensive. But the army is going to go down here for the Teutons, isn't it? Really nicely microed from Mihai. Wow, steps up with the archers into melee range. Good reaction by EmuWarrior, though, splitting up. So he's still getting good trades in. Look at this, the skirmishes here. Not bad. But overall, Mihai is able to clean this up, protect the stones, and click up to Castle Age, where EmuWarrior is still pretty far away from that next age. Wow. Wow, man. 39 wheels on the way to Castle Age with wheelbarrow already. A lot of upgradable archers here. And, well, still, I mean, crossbows aren't really the unit the Romans want to go into usually, but in Castle Age they're perfectly acceptable, right? They get ballistics, they get bodkin, so they have that going for them. I'm not sure they get thumb ring, actually. They might not. They shouldn't, actually. That would be pretty unfair. Yeah, they don't. Okay, so at least that is missing. But for Castle Age purposes, that is still adequate to play against Teutons, and crossbows against Teutons is one of the units you're most, well, you're best well off with. All the stone ends up having to be sold for Emu to get up to Castle Age at a somewhat competitive time, but he's still a minute behind there. And the villager gap isn't going to close that way either. There we go, 11 archers for Mihai that he could upgrade, but also attacking into scale barding now. So he's going to go into knights here in early Castle Age, presumably. Just one stable for now, but that is fine, doesn't necessarily need a lot more than that. Depending how heavily he wants to go for this, I still assume he's going to drop at least... Well, actually he's going for a castle. Well, never mind that, I thought he was just going to 1TC in a bit of a military push. No! He seems to be going for a castle drop. He's going to buy the rest of that stone, I assume. And yeah, both players buying some stone, but for quite different reasons here, as Emu uses it to tower against the archers. He thinks these archers, these crossbows, they're going to be upgraded here in a second. They're the main threat. They are not the main threat. This is the main threat. Oh boy, Mihai looking to end this series soon here as he brings the very aggressive castle drop on the main goal there for EmuWarrior. Reads the map perfectly. He has a lot of pressure there. And, well, stone wall behind this now, but the crossbows are still going to be pretty scary. That is Castle Age for EmuWarrior now as well, but he's already down 10 villagers. Has to call it. Mihai brings it home for his team. It's a 2-1 here for Team Romania again, remaining undefeated in terms of series. 2-0 now, and only 2 more series left to play for them in this group. Could secure first place by winning the last 2 sets as well, although let's not get ahead of ourselves. But it was another really good set by them, and they move up 2-1 and close out against EmuWarrior and Mastyjames, who put up a really respectable fight. Honestly, both their 1v1s, they were pretty neat. And even the 2v2 or Nomad, I mean, were able to hang around for a long time. But Mihai and Alexander, they look well prepared. They look on the same wavelength, coordinating nicely in the 2v2 and then playing strong enough in their 1v1s to bring it home. Yet again, they're sitting at top of this group in the round robin with 2 wins and 0 losses. And since there haven't been any other sets played, or well, until this point in the cast, right, we're still behind. So there's more recordings to go through. But at this point, there's only been 2 sets played in this tournament. And so the standings aren't really as fleshed out yet. We can't really tell much about the teams other than Team Romania. But they are for sure looking good. Now I'm going to end the Twitch stream here. I'm going to have to do some housework and whatnot. I'm going to the store as well. But I think I'll definitely be casting another set or 2 in the evening today, so I'll probably be back for that. I'll just go through the sets chronologically as they were submitted in the Discord server. So that would mean, let me check real quick. That would mean the next set would be the next set from Alexander and Mihai again. So it looks that is gonna be on the menu for in a few hours from now. Again, yeah, I'll upload this and all the other casts to YouTube as well. The Twitch VODs are also accessible, and I'll post in the Discord server as well when I start casting again. But that's it for now, and I'll see you guys later if you're here on Twitch. If you're there on YouTube, check out the other videos from the tournament playlist or some other tournament playlists for other events that I've casted in as well. Thanks for joining, and congrats again to Mihai and Alexander for picking up another serious victory here and sitting atop of the group in the high-elo bracket for the Newbie and the Beast tournament.